Hey everybody, just want to say a quick thank you to everybody who's been watching these videos. This is going to be the final installment on the Kill 'Em All series, so rest in peace, Kill 'Em All. If you're interested, go to www.romanovamusic.com, where you can buy my merchandise, my original music, and you can even donate any amount of money to this channel as you wish. Donations really help. Doesn't money help everybody? You can also go to my Subscribe Star page and you can check out the subscription offers there. Thank you very much, and let's get on to the video. A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. These are words from a document that is systematically ignored by millions of Americans and dozens of politicians every single day. But today, we're not going to ignore this precious Second Amendment right to bear arms to the American people. We are going to embrace it by embracing a new kind of weapon, the six-string woody. You remember El Kabong?
Olde!
Stick 'em up, stagecoach.
Come on!
El Kabong has vanquished many a bandito over the course of his career with his six-string woody. Now, how many woodies can a six-string wood if a wood string could string woodies?
I was overcome by a kabongin' frenzy.
We're going to figure that out today on the final installment of the Kill 'Em All series. We're coming at you with this well-regulated metal militia. The Metal Militia solo is probably one of the shorter solos on the album, but it packs a punch, and it has a lot of elements that aren't necessarily used in other solos on the album, so this one's somewhat unique, although there is an old familiar friend in there that we'll get to. So let's start off with the first lick within the solo. That's all there is to it. So all that's happening is just a rake sequence. Alright, so a rake is when you take your pick and you glide it across two or more strings. So basically what we're doing here is we have this shape starting at the 9th fret of the D string, going 9, 10, 11, right across the D, G, and B, like this, in a triplet rhythm. And then we do the same thing down a half step at the 8th fret, so it would be 8, 9, 10. And then we do the same thing a half step yet again, 7, 8, 9. Okay? And that's all there is to it technically. Now this shape kind of reminds me of a jazz chord. I don't know if any of you have ever learned a 13th chord before, but I know I have. And a 13th chord looks like this. So it has this 9, 10, 11 shape on the top, with the 9th on the low E, and that makes a 13th chord. Now, I highly doubt that was the inspiration behind this, but hey, it's worth a thought, right? This next section is comprised of a couple different elements. One being a double stop with some bends, and the other being the B minor pentatonic scale with some different elements interspersed. So let's take a look. So we have the first double stop at the 9th fret at the G and the B, and you're going to bend it up a half step, so both of those notes, and then do this little half step bend and release. Okay, so that's all there is to that. Now, I'm not going to harp on this for too long, but in relation to B minor, since that's the key we're in, those two notes occupy the zone of the 4 chord, or the E major chord. That's an E and a G sharp played together. So when you have that, that sort of creates a Dorian type of mode. Okay, now I've talked about the Dorian mode before. and, you know, just give a quick synopsis. If you have a B minor scale and use a natural 6, that's the B Dorian scale. And that's exactly what's happening here, is you have the natural 6 with that double stop. Okay? So moving on to the next part, we have this B minor pentatonic pattern. So we're starting with a pull off at the 10th and the 7th fret. And you do that twice. Then you come down to the B string and you pull off and do a little double picking action. So now we've seen this happen earlier, but we have to rehash for any new watchers, any new viewers coming through. So we're going, and we continue down the scale and then back up to the G. Now here's where things get a little more interesting, where we have some repetition that makes a little bit more sense here. So we have this. So that's a double repetition on the 9-7 pull off on the G, going to the 9th on the D. And basically what you're doing is just going down, down, up, down, down, up, right? With some palm mutes happening in there too. So we go unmute, mute, mute, down, up, mute, mute. Okay? Then we do the same thing on the D string, going like this. 9-7, 9 on the A. And then we go all the way down to the 7th fret of the A string. And we do the same deal. So it's kind of like a box, right? You're playing along the box. Starting at the G string, D string, A string. And then ending at that D note, 5th fret of the A string, which is the minor 3rd of the B minor scale. Okay? So in total, that lick goes like this. Okay, so let me play that slow. So as you notice, the pattern is not totally exact in its performance, right? Sometimes you have some notes where you just slide right past them and you're not even really playing them necessarily. They're more as like a ghost note, right? Or a passing note that doesn't mean as much as some of the other parts. So as long as you keep that 16th note pattern going, right? That sort of gallopy type of feel, then this will be no problem for you. I'm going to separate this one in its own category because I'm going to call it the old friend category. And this is the old friend, the old standby of Kill 'Em All. One that Kirk just seemed to have an extreme affinity to, because I think it occurs at least once in every single song on the album. I'll have to check myself on that, but it happens a lot. And it happens right here. So let's check out the old friend, right? We'll refer to it from here on out. So we go like this. We're in the B minor pentatonic position. Slide into the B at the 7th fret of the E. Do a little double pick on the D on the 5th fret. And then you do the same deal, but on the 7th and 9th fret of the A string. Then you go. Alright? So that's really what it is. And that happens so many times. I mean, I'm going to have to do a separate video on how many times that happens. That'll be pretty interesting. Now, coming out of our dear old friend, we have this other extension that comes out of it, and that's pretty commonplace along this album too. Kirk will start off with the, and then continue to play something else that's different, right? So it's not always completely the same, but you know, it is the same. So that's the section right there. So all that's happening is after you play Our Dear Old Friend, you come into this B minor pentatonic type of thing, just around the root note and the minor 3rd, and then we do a bend, on the 9th fret of the G, to a unison note on the 7th fret of the B. Then we do a double pull off from 10 to 7, from the B string to the E string. So we're going, and then come back to the B string, do it twice. Then we do a single, and then nice little pick, and 3 nice pinched notes coming right out of that pattern. So now we get into the fun part. This is scaly scale, B minor scale time, so we're gonna be in there, man. So we got this. So right after we do that whole, 9th fret pinch harmonic thing, we come into this. So check it out. So that's based on a single string B minor scale, okay? But there's a little slight difference that makes it not quite B minor. So scaling up, we have B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B. So that's a B minor scale, but then we continue up 2 more notes to C natural, which is not in the B minor scale. Then we come up to D again, which is, and then we have the big bend with a little 1.5 thing happening. We'll get there later. All right, so let's take a look at what's happening there. So we're actually combining the B minor scale, which would be, and the B Phrygian scale. Now the only difference is that C sharp to C natural. That's the only thing that makes it Phrygian as opposed to not. Now once again, I'm going to reiterate this for the 1000th time. Was Kirk doing this intentionally? No. Am I doing this intentionally? Yes. Because you deserve to know why this sounds so good. Okay, so we're mixing the modes of the Aeolian B natural minor scale and the B Phrygian scale, which is a natural minor scale with a flatted 2. So try to wrap your head around that. Okay? So let me play this slow for you just to see how it goes. It's really just tremolo picking. So you just have to spaz out on that one string as you're moving up the pattern with the rhythm, right? Okay, so check it out. Okay, so you saw how I was slowly scaling up, and I was using the same 3 fingers to get up that pattern. The pointer, the middle, and the ring. And just moving from the frets that correspond to what it's supposed to be. So let's talk about those bends at the top of the scale. So we have 3 full step bends, and then the 4th is a close to a 1.5, but it's not quite a 1.5. So a little bit higher than the other bends, and then we move to the 1.5 on that last one. And then a hammer on and a pull off on the 17th and 22nd to seal it out. So on this final section, we have a little bit of counting to do. Okay, so let's check out the lat. So on this final section, we have a little bit of counting to do. So let's check out what happens on this lick. Okay, so right off the bat there, we're starting off with a double pull-off. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of doubles we're talking about in this part. So this double pull-off happens at the 20th and the 17th fret of the E and the 20th of the B, like this. And the picking is down, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down. Just like that. And then we go down 20 to 17 on the B string. Okay, so that's the end of that double. So after that first double, we go into another set of doubles. So this starts with the 21st fret of the G, going to the unison bend at the 19th fret. Okay? Then at the 22nd, we're going to pull off at the B string, and then pull off on the E, back to B. And we're going to do that whole thing twice. So that's a double. So there's your double right there. So now we do a double in between that, but it's only on the G and the B string. So we go, and then we go back to the 3-string double. So we have a 2-string double on the G and the B, and a 3-string double G, B, E. And we do 2 more of these G, B, E's. And then we go a double on the 2-string, and then the triplets on that last 22nd fret bend. So let's take a look at that slow. Alright everybody, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you around on the next series, which I'll be unveiling soon enough. You'll see it when I upload it, alright? In the meantime, I'll probably give you some other stuff to take a look at too. I've been working on a number of original songs as well, so I'll post some of that as soon as I can. Alright? Peace.